Okay, we good?
Yeah.
Okay, are we live? Can you check on my YouTube now? And I'm gonna go back here to X and start this thing.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
It's a great day, y'all. What's up? It is Gavin Mehl coming at you. We got the London space today. I'm gonna do the London blockchain call-in. You know, the directly from the Bitcoin Palace. Casey, you're gonna be co-host. What this means for the Bitcoiners. Debrief. What's up? It's a great day. And the Great Bitcoin Flippening. Before we get into like all this stuff, let me just give you guys a quick little debrief. Hopefully I'm coming through. Yeah. Casey, I'm good on the mic. Yeah. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Yeah. Okay. So, I apologize about the delay. This OBS system is beyond insane. So, I have no idea what I'm doing in the way of production, and I'm literally like a freaking boomer over here, dude. So it's like I can talk on the mic and the camera, but when it comes to production, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I got some good help from Usman. He really took his time to walk me through it in baby steps, but hopefully it's working. So anyways, but I had this amazing freaking meetings the last few days, man, with people, and it really revolves all around this connection with blockchain and AI and what's happening in this with this giant boom that's about to happen right now. And so, I posted a video last night on YouTube, and it came out from my Saturday call, and it was literally it's like the alarm. Okay. I mean, I hope this is like the alarm going off in people's head who have not already kind of picked up on this, that this is the aha alarm moment, dude. Do not, that this thing is going to explode, dude. I mean, and that is what the Great Bitcoin Flippening is. It is going to blow. It's going to explode, and the whole thing's going to freaking flip. So you just got to be. I mean, I'm telling you, and it's going to be actually these AIs and the community coming together is ultimately it's the people, but the AI agents using all these sats, and I mean, they're going to be connecting together on this. So, okay. I got a lot of people around me, and everybody's, anyways, it's a great day. So coming at you, Casey, how you doing? Good morning. Casey, can you somehow help me invite all these people up on the stage? I guess I didn't do a good job at opening up the stage floor or something. So, maybe you could request, help me manage that. Casey? Casey, Nicole, can you hear me? No? Oh, you can. All right. So great. Well, then I'll just wait, and you're up on stage. So when you see people request up, have them join in. I see Satoshi. He's there in the crowd. I know that there's people at the Bitcoin Palace. I'm not sure what account they're going to be joining in from. Maybe it's Satoshi's account. So when they do, bring them up. And I want to hear all about there's a massive debrief that's going down right now in the London area about this event that happened. It's happening now. And so, I know a lot of people are interested. And this is ultimately like from last year when we had that big London event with the London blockchain and all those people went to the Bitcoin Palace. It's the same group. And remember, Satoshi, he got under attack, and he fell and broke his leg on those cobblestones right when I arrived. So what happened is that I came in from San Francisco directly into London and got all turned around. So by the time I got in and landed at the event, at the conference, there he is. What's up, Satoshi? Talk to me, buddy.
Testing 1 2 3. Am I there, Gavin?
You're on live. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, you can hear me all right? This is like
I sure can.
New tech for all of us here. Excellent.
Microphone check.
So actually, the best person who might be speaking to is Brendan, because he was at the meal last night. So he can tell you all about it. I'll just pass you over.
Oh, cool. Brendan Lee.
Hey, Gavin. Yes, I'm here, mate. How are you?
Brendan Lee. It's a great day, man. I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, mate. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. I'm really excited to hear from you. It's so good to hear your voice again. And I was just kind of refreshing on some of the things that happened last time. But right when I arrived at the last event, Satoshi busted up his leg on that cobblestone, and I was, all turned around. Then everybody came together, and then Satoshi was missing in action. So now he's back and he's feeling better. So still good to hear. So tell me about what the latest is and what's happening, Brendan. What's new and exciting?
Gavin, if you can hear me before we move forward, there's a bad echo on your
Sorry?
end.
You're hearing an echo?
Yes.
I wasn't sure if it was on our end.
Nope, it's definitely Gavin's end.
Oh, okay. Well, so you can hear me clearly.
Why is that happening? Hold on.
I think it's from your Zoom. Not showing it.
Oh, is it coming from? Oh,
Stop the streaming on
how
the
about
Zoom.
this? Is that better? Oh, sorry.
Okay,
that
I
any
stopped.
better?
I closed Zoom down. I guess that's causing an echo.
It's still there, Gavin.
How about now?
Oh,
No, it's still there?
yeah,
Nope.
yeah. We're just trying to work out why I'm getting an echo.
Hold on, let me fix this.
I can't hear.
Is
what
it your
you're saying.
YouTube?
Our YouTube.
No, Gavin's.
I have OBS up. It's
Oh,
got to
I
be
think Gavin has
OBS.
a bad. You can hear us quite clearly, though, right? In London.
Yes,
Yeah.
you sound great, Brendan.
All right, perfect. I'm just going to back it up then. Oh, you want to turn the TV down?
Testing,
No, it's gotta
testing.
be on X. So we're coming through loud and clear. It's Gavin that we're
Yeah.
losing.
How about now?
Okay. Oh, okay. They're asking if we can see you somehow, but I don't think you can in this. No. No. Yeah. Yeah. No, Gavin, it's been great. So we've had 3 days here now, or 2.5 days. 2 days really. We all got here on Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, but I flew in on Monday and stayed with my cousin, and then we've just had a really good discussion about Bitcoin, and we've met some really interesting new people, and then we also had the opportunity. So Elle had arranged a meal at the house of the Lady Mayor, of the City of London. And so we went there, and Elle had really assembled a star cast of people. Like some of those guys, they're like chief economists in the UK for big deals. I don't know. I don't get the whole thing, but certainly big guys, high up. And the evening went really well, and we got to say our piece right at the end. And I've got to say it was perfect timing. It just gave us enough time. There was a really good discussion around a lot of things, and then we finished up at the end. And I think, anyway, we'll see what happens. And that's it. Today we've had a symposium, and we've had more really good discussions. And that's about it. I don't know if anyone else has anything. Oh yes, Liz Truss, of course. We met Liz Truss. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Who was very nice, very, very lovely. And
How's
the
my?
team also.
Sounds like I've got an echo. Still, Casey. Yeah, I do.
Yes, you still have an echo, sorry.
Go ahead, Casey. You host it. I'm gonna have to fix this.
Okay, yeah, I just researching the Lady Mayor of London, and just saw some facts about her, that she was the third woman in over 800 years to hold the office, which I thought was really cool. So, yeah, Brendan, have you guys been getting some more recordings of your talks?
We tried to record some of what we talked about this morning, but we aren't sure if it's worked properly. But we should have some video with sound.
Okay.
I was just going to say one other thing about the Lady Mayor. Of those three women, she's the first to call herself the Lady Mayor. So the other two have both been still Lord Mayor, but they were women, I believe. Is that correct? Allegedly. Okay. So that's just another. She was really nice, actually, the Lady Mayor. Very, very warm, and anyway. Yeah. No, we had a very nice time.
Nice. Let me try that. Keep your mic muted for a second, Casey. Please mute. Okay, try it. Testing now. Okay, now I think we're good. All right. So, yeah, keep your mic muted, Casey. It's coming from you. So, all right. So, yeah, this is good. This is really, really awesome, Brendan. I greatly appreciate it, and thank you for jumping in with us. I mean, ultimately, yeah, sounds like it was a real success. I know that you're not really able to share. It sounds like a lot of this stuff is private. I'm not, a lot of stuff you're not really allowed to talk about, but I appreciate you sharing what you can as to what happened and what you're doing. I mean, ultimately, what brings everybody together there? You got Satoshi, you got all these people that are on the ground there, at this event. I mean, what are you guys talking about? What are you up to? And what are you excited about, ma'am?
Well, so I guess we've been having discussions about digital pound. What else have we been talking about? Bitcoin. It's been just all about Bitcoin, everyone's favorite subject. Strategy.
Well, let me tell you. Let me give you guys some.
Anyone else?
Well, let me just share
World
some insight
domination.
about what's going to blow this whole thing up wide open, because I see it clearly now. And hold on, it's hold on. Somebody's got can you mute for a second, Brendan, while I'm, yeah, there we go. Thank you. So it's what's going to blow this thing wide open. And that is going to be okay. So we everybody's excited about AI. I'm here at this, in Bay Area, and I'm talking to people last night about AI. People are like, oh, building AI, and they're all excited. But, Claude comes out with this new bot. I just used it last night for the first time. It's, I don't even know what it's called, but it's above the Opus bot, something else. So I loaded in 100 pages of research material in the bot, and the bot froze down and crashed. And I thought, okay, well, I'll try it again. So it's like right at 99 pages, it was okay, but 100, it's done.
Wait, Gavin, sorry, can you repeat that last bit? It didn't quite come through.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I'm here in the Bay Area last night talking to people about bots and the AI
Hello,
bots.
Gavin, can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Is it working? Oh.
Testing.
We can hear you, Gavin. I think it's their connection or something.
Okay. So I'm. Brendan. So let me just continue.
It's changed itself. Or did they mute us?
No, you're not muted. You're good. All right. So if you
Goodness me, why can't we hear them?
If your mic or your audio's buggy, then you could come down and go back up possibly. But let me just kind of fill you guys in on what's going to blow this whole thing wide open, and that is going to be this AI blockchain connection. Because so here's the problem. I load in about 99 pages into Claude, and it works fine. As soon as I get to 100 pages, the thing crashes on this brand new, this is the most high-tech bot they have. Thing crashes, and it forgets, it doesn't know what it's doing, and all the information that I put into it is dead. And, I mean, if you think 100 pages is a lot, then you're just like, dude, that's nothing. 100 pages? That's nothing. So if these bots can only do 100 pages of material at a time, then this is just a dead end. However, what's happened now is that, there's a way now to connect the bots to Bitcoin. And that's going to be what's going to blow this whole thing wide open. Bitcoin was meant to communicate with the AIs. That's what it was built for. I think this is like a much bigger spiritual connection than we can imagine. It was actually these AIs and Bitcoins and Forth, Brendan, like about, and how Forth works, were actually meant to operate together. And all these transactions that they're beginning to do. See, what happens is the bot is scraping information, that was put on chain. So as opposed to me loading in the 100 pages, it's going to load everything onto the blockchain. And that blockchain is going to be there permanently immutable. So the bot just reads that. And then it can see way, way more information, unlimited amount of information. It doesn't have to get stopped at 100 pages anymore. And then it will never forget. And so that is going to be what's going to blow this whole thing wide open, dude. I'm telling you, man. Maybe they don't want people to know about that, or nobody's figured it out yet, but we did figure it out. We figured it out, and it's happening. All right, it's happening. It's already happening right now. And so I'm telling you, get ready, dude. This is your alarm system going off in your freaking head, dude. It's gonna freaking blow. And I don't. it's gonna flip. I'm just telling you, it's gonna flip. I'm telling you. So
Can I just say,
Yeah.
with all due respect, this morning I was listening to a space with Bruce or Chao Hui from Script talking about the AI agents and AI economy with scaling on BTC and layer twos and all the things that they need to do in order to try to enable AI agent to agent communication on BTC. And it just sounded so convoluted. I actually texted Chow Wei and was like, we got to get you on a call with Ryan from Indelible, because it felt so intuitively like they're going the wrong direction, even though they're going to be able to scale a BTC with this route. It doesn't sound like it's sustainable long term. And I'm hoping that Chow Wei's not wasting his time, even though that's where the market is at the moment. Like, I just feel like this X402 and all that is so much more important and much more of a viable solution for AI.
yeah, and that's okay. Well, see, that's okay. I mean, because it doesn't work. It's never going to work, on those layer twos. But it's good for marketing, and it's good because they got all the liquidity. But this isn't about liquidity, right? That's the confusion I think that people are having. This is not about liquidity. It's not about price. It's about utility now. So it's about utility and scale. Can the AIs scale and read? In simple terms, I've got a project. It's 101 pages. I need the bot to read 101 pages. I load it in. How do I do it? Boom. That's all it's about in simple terms. That's really a simple analysis. No, BTC can't do that. I'm sorry. So, but it's happening right now on in the most pure form on the base layer, BSV on the protocol. So, dude, when this when people figure this out, I don't think they're going to figure it out after the AI agents have already figured it out. That's the thing. Now it's a matter of like, will people figure it out? I don't know. They will, because I'm going to start talking about it a lot. I'm going to start sharing more and more information about it, and people are going to capitalize on this. So, yeah, dude. Brendan, how's your mic? How's your mic, buddy? Come on back up when you can. Looks like you're on mute. Oh, there you go. Are you, when he joins, can you add him back up? Casey?
I did. They just dropped down again. I think they're still having connection issues, but here it looks like he's up now.
Nice.
Hello.
Brendan.
Yes. Hey, sorry. I think we missed a little bit of the last what you said. Yeah, no, it's been a great week. Sorry, it was about AI and blockchain, right? I mean, AI, so blockchain, we can certainly make AI more honest about how the models are being used and what models are being used, and really making sure you get what you pay for. Yeah. I don't have so much to say about AI. It's a very good tool. I'm not joyous that there's a lot of kind of push I'm seeing to give AI a lot more power in the decision-making process, and it's great as a tool, but I reckon there's things that we should still be using people for. But anyway, that I might just be old-fashioned. Yeah.
Hey, Brendan, is Satoshi with you?
Yes, he's here.
Can I talk with him?
Yeah, mate, go for it.
Satoshi, how you doing?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm good. Never better. Hey, did you ever hear about this thing called the Great Bitcoin Flippening?
I did, mate. I believe that myself and you were championing this thing.
I think I was just copying you.
Oh, yeah. Well, it has to happen because that's what Satoshi Nakamoto wants to happen. So it will happen. and it will look like the market has decided.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I mean, have you looked into this whole AI connection and how it fits perfectly into BSV?
Yeah, AI, the foundation of BSV is really what AI needs in order to make sure that AI is being honest and doesn't turn into a nefarious tool to use. So whereas BSV makes everybody accountable, including AI. So really, it's the only safe platform for an AI to actually run on. So everybody should be using BSV for everything, including AI.
Yeah. And if you, and what about this? Have you ever been on one of these bots? While I'm talking, can you mute? I'm getting a second. There we go. What have you ever been on one of these bots? And I'll let you open up in a second. Where what happens is you use the bot, and then it says that it forgets or it stops you at a certain amount of questions. And for me, the maximum is 100 pages of documents or posts. Then once I get past that, I start over and create a new bot. And basically, it can be frustrating if you've done a lot of work or whatever, getting around that, knowing that. But what if you could do like 1 million pages, and what if you could just go to infinity and then just put it all on the blockchain? I mean, and then the bot just read everything right from there. I mean I mean, maybe they can, and I mean that wouldn't that solve all these problems that the AIs are having?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the solution to everything. Anything and everything that is digital, literally, whether it be communications, whether it be finance, whether it be social media, whether it be exchanging of property or owner rights or anything like that. Everything needs to go on the Bitcoin network. And I think when the world wakes up to this, I think the flippening that we're talking about is going to happen really quickly, because and also it's what's really important is the digital signature. A digital signature is the only thing that proves a transaction actually happened, and that whether it's on blockchain or not, it doesn't matter. If there's no signature on it, there's no way to prove a transaction happened. So the beauty about Bitcoin is that you have a chain of digital signatures, so that you have provenance. So you can literally trace a property certificate on the blockchain to make sure that it is authentic, and it is you can check that it came from where they said it came from, or on this immutable ledger. So yeah, the BSV blockchain is literally what the internet should have been had blockchain and Bitcoin been around at the time that they invented the internet.
Yeah. And I'm watching this series that Kurt's putting out right now, and I highly recommend everybody check it out. He's doing an amazing job on the history of Bitcoin, and as the Bitcoin historian. Right now, I think he's on the 2018. Last night or yesterday, he put out the 2018 thing I watched, which was going into this. A lot of the history I wasn't really. I mean, I was around, but I wasn't following it as closely as he was, which was like this Bangkok meeting where what's happening is you got the Bitcoin Cash guys, and they had all this massive amount of hash power with Roger Ver, Jihan Wu, and Craig Wright, Calvin Ayre, and all these people came together in Bitcoin. It was in Bangkok, and they had some agreements that they put together, and then they began to go to war. And Craig Wright had sent a very, very aggressive, email over to Roger Ver, which he put out later, with some nasty language in it. And then they went to war, and Craig Wright sued Roger, and they split up and never talked again. So this was like the splitting of everything, because they wanted to change the protocol. But the history of that part of it was just fascinating, because right before it was the price. Kurt was saying the price for BCH was all the way to 9,500 on GDAX, which is the Coinbase exchange. I saw it at 3,500, but he said it was at 9,500. That means it was flipping at that time, and then Coinbase somehow pushed it back down. Otherwise, it would have flipped back then. It was ready to flip right back then. Do you remember that, Satoshi? I'm sure you were around back then. Well, that sucker was.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I do remember that. The only thing was that the price was going up, but it was all speculative because Roger had been pushing it. So there was no utility behind the price movement. So it was really just kind of like a lot of the traders going, "Oh, this is great. It's gone up to like $9,500 like overnight." And then it like literally the next day, people were just like, "Oh, well, this isn't going to continue," because you have to remember that everybody in the entire space is a trader. They've encouraged trading because trading is financially parasitic. If you're a trader, you're nothing more than a digital pickpocket. You're not making anything. You're not manufacturing anything. Literally, there's no value there whatsoever. So when the price shot up that much, literally, obviously, you're going to get the traders just simply cashing in for dollar value, and the price comes back down again because all it is just simply the greater fool. And after such a huge price increase, and then the traders going, "Yeah, we made a shitload on that. What's going to happen next? Oh, yeah, BTC's gone down. Well, who's going to take a risk on the new kid on the block, which is BCH, when it's just had a huge increase in price and then crashed again? That's not going to happen again anytime soon. But BTC's got the branding, it's got those people who are completely committed to it. And obviously we didn't know at the time that Tether was completely manipulating the market, but there's literally utility is everything. And obviously I keep repeating myself. If something is useful, it's valuable. If something is useless, it's worthless. And all Roger Ver was doing, because he doesn't really understand Bitcoin himself, it was just simply pumping the price, trying to get people to buy it. So when the price shot up that quickly with nothing back in it, everything came back down. And then people are just like, okay, well, that was a sort of like a pump and dump. Let's get back onto BTC because that's the bigger market, and people are going to start taking advantage of the price crash. And then BCH just died a death after that.
Well, that's, I think, the big difference with what happened back then. But it was a little bit of a preview to the future, because back then there wasn't any AI agents. Back then there wasn't any of these open AIs or Grok or ChatGPT or what's happening really with Claude. I mean, if it existed, I didn't know about it. I didn't even hear about the AI stuff till about 3 years ago. So it was definitely not on my radar. But I'm sure maybe people like Craig Wright knew about it, but I sure didn't. So ultimately, that's the big difference. And now these bots, there's actual utility. There's actually demand for sats to use this stuff, and that's what's creating this massive push, man. It's going to be kind of a different. I would say it's more of an uncontrollable momentum, that it's not really controlled by the traders and the speculation on this one. It's more controlled by actual utility and demand, and then scarcity. And that's what's happening, because it is that's really what's causing the pressure, is going to be the scarcity of it and the demand. I don't think a lot of people really even have any idea what's coming, dude. I really don't. I mean, you do. Ruth Eman, I think, does. I think a few others, but there's very few people who really see how this is going to play out, man. And I'm only just new to kind of finally getting it, So, but I see it's happening, dude. So Satoshi, you're there in London. What the heck? What about Elle? Is she going to talk to me? How's she doing?
Elle is struggling at the moment because she literally didn't get any sleep whatsoever. So her immune system is a bit run down because she's been organizing all of this. She's done a fantastic job. She's sick, yeah. So she actually got Liz Truss in the room with all of us, which was pretty great.
Wow.
And the meeting seemed to go really well from her description and everybody else who was there. They said there was a magic moment that took place where there was a real energy in the room, where literally people were all discussing problems, solutions, and then the Bitcoin topic came up. And apparently, according to those who were there, it was a magical moment that went really well. So, and they've said that they want to follow up because it went so well. And we're literally just sort of like waiting to hear back to see when the next meeting is going to be. But if things did go as well as they made it out to be, then spot on. Great stuff.
Now, Liz Truss, wasn't it the Prime Minister?
Yeah. She was Prime Minister of England, the United Kingdom, for about 42 days, 49 days. So the shortest premiership in history. And it was basically the banks that didn't want her to continue with her plans for economic growth in the country, because they obviously want to destroy everything. So they started selling bonds, which made the market unstable, and they blamed that on her. So she knew, and her words were, when I got to the top, she realized that she wasn't the one actually pulling the levers. And so now when you realize you have a central bank that could sack prime ministers, but the prime minister can't sack the chairman of the central bank, that's when she realized that we've got a real problem, which is why she's looking for solutions and why she ended up coming here last night and chatting to everybody. So yeah, it seems to have gone really well.
So it seems like she's not. She's actually looking for a real solution. She was looking for a real solution. She's not maybe like they're on some sort of a special interest or lobbying campaign for some other, Lloyd's of London interest or something. Seems like she was. I mean, was that the president of the UK? Is that what the prime minister was or is?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. But we, rather than being a president, we call it a prime minister. So prime as in the prime minister, because they're meant to be public servants that go between the king and the public. So being the prime minister, she was the one that was effectively running the country on behalf of the king and the people. So yeah, that's what she was doing.
I mean, she's only born in 1975. She's a, not old. She's not an old lady. So sounds like she's was leader of the Conservative Party. Oh, what about Boris Johnson? He was there. It looks like that's the guy who came before her or after her. I remember him. Same position as him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, same position as him. He wasn't at the meeting last night. Just want to make that clear. But Liz has obviously got contacts, and she's searching for solutions. And we obviously know that there is only one solution to fix the finances, which is what we got. And the central banks are obviously covering that up and pushing the crypto market with all their coins on it with different ideas that are all created on the premise that Bitcoin can't do anything, when Bitcoin, the real Bitcoin, the genuine Bitcoin, can actually do everything. So that's the secret that they don't want getting out, and that's why they're moving along, speeding things up with their own plans and making so many mistakes, and that's why so many people are waking up.
Yeah. Is there any way we can look at questions, Casey, on this? I'm unable to kind of see that, or comments, or have people come up. Is there, if you see a way to do that, let me know. Okay, cool. Yeah. So it sounds like that was it. And I know the other person was the mayor of London, or the lady mayor. That's pretty, that person has a lot of, it sounds like you weren't there to tell us exactly, but did you meet Liz Truss?
She came and gave just a brief presentation to everybody that was here.
Oh, okay.
And then they went off to Mansion House for a meal, like a black tie do, which seems to have gone really well. And I think everybody's hoping that just the way that meal went is going to lead on to networking opportunities further down the line, with them asking more details, because they seem to be impressed about the information that they received over dinner.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, if they want to stay competitive and get a little bit of an edge on the United States, the only way to do it is going to be, and China and Russia, is going to be by making things more efficient, making things cheaper, faster, more scalable, especially with all their AI agents, whatever they're going to be doing. And there's only one way to do that. And they've got the right people there connecting them to show them how. You know, the Brendan Lees, you know, you and Ella. And you know, so it's sounds like I know it sounds like Liz Truss is pretty actually up to speed on all this stuff, to be honest, from what I've heard. Yeah, so Casey, anybody in the crowd there, can you read, or anybody want to come up and ask questions or comments, feel free to join. Talk to me. Yeah. What's up?
I'm just curious to go ahead and ask a question, Satoshi and everybody there. You know, while you guys were having all these questions, what you know, were you noticing that is the most misunderstood about Bitcoin from that group at this point still? And it sounds like you guys were able to dispel any of those and debunk a lot of the misunderstandings. But what was emerging that really stood out to you guys about the narrative that they had in their minds about this technology?
Well, I can take that one. The one thing that I noticed is they were consistently still saying, oh, well, there's still value in the crypto market. And you had to sort of really, I came down hard and basically said, look, they lecture the banks on inflating the currency, but then they go and create thousands and thousands of coins and they dump it on the heads of retail investors, and they're just sucking the money straight out of the market. It's all complete fraud. And I mean, we're serious, and they're not. And I think that was a bit of a wake-up call. You know, you could really see the cogs turning. I wasn't going to say.
So were they more interested in like blockchain or remaining competitive in like AI global economy?
I think there's still, even at that level, a perception that blockchain can be useful. So they know that this can be effective in certain ways, but what they've never been presented with is a solution that does it for everything, everywhere at once. And we spoke just for like 5 minutes at the end and really made the case that it's about scaling and being in a position to handle hundreds of millions of transactions, you know, all the time, and just how important that is for everything to be stable. And you know, I think they really sort of took something away from that, and the response was very good. So.
Okay, I invited a couple people up there to speak. If you guys want to jump in, feel free to come up and say what's up. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Okay. You hear me okay? Casey? Nice.
Yep, loud and clear.
We can hear you.
Okay, so yeah, what happens is when I sound, it seems like for some reason in the space, when multiple mics are open, the echo starts again. So I have to kind of be mindful of that. One mic open at a time. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Brendan. Brendan, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, it was about dispelling that misconception and doing it. I think what I said earlier was like, you know, in BSV, we have this energy and it's completely mismatched with the crypto energy. And I think for the first time at a really high level, the spark of what we have here has jumped across to the other side. And, you know, the thing about this technology is it's so compelling. You don't need long to just lay it out. And they'd never heard anyone talk like that, I think. They've never heard anything like that before. And so, yeah, hopefully, I'm sure that it's one of those things where I just very strongly, very, very strongly feel like there's no way that nothing will come of this. So anyway, I'll just pass you to Ruth Eman.
Oh, Ruth is there. Okay, great. Yeah. Hi, Ruth.
Hi, Gavin. I just wanted to pay tribute to Al, who did a fucking first-rate job of organizing this, and it almost killed her, I think. So we need to be mindful of that. Got a bit of applause going on here on the background. And it was so fascinating because if you think about this meeting that happened last night, it was the Lady Mayor and Al and the ex-Prime Minister, and they were all women, very, very badass women. And that in itself is kind of huge, I think. And it showed real kind of openness and a willingness to listen. And the conversation around the table, apparently the Lady Mayor opened it up to all, and they had a real proper conversation. And that's not how these sorts of banquets usually go. So,
Bring Alex Moon up as well because
oh, Alex Moon's on. Make him a speaker.
Yeah, I did.
I
Alex
just-
Moon, please come up.
I
I think
just
you were
got
there
a-
too. So
I just got a DM from him that he's not able to come up at the moment, but sends his
Oh,
love.
that's a shame because he was there last night and he did a bang up job as well.
oh, he was there. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, he was there at the meal, and he was terrific too. But I mean, Al, see, it's a shame Al's not well enough to speak at the moment. She's got a bad headache, so we're letting her sit this one out because she's been going and going and going for days on end. But it's a shame she's not here to speak because she speaks so eloquently, and she would really convey this, do a better job of this than we're doing, honestly. But we're all a bit exhausted, is the truth, because it's been a long few days, and it feels like a lot's happened.
Yeah, it's funny because most people don't know who Elle is, or anything, so they don't. She's not a public person, so it's funny, when I talk about her. And then you guys meet her in person, or all meet her in person. You're like, oh my gosh, this person is unbelievable. She's the one who set all this thing up with the Lady Mayor and the Prime Minister and all these things. Like what? How come we don't know about that? And it's just all happening in the background, And she doesn't. Yeah, she just she's amazing how she does that.
Unmute me? Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, Elle is totally kind of behind the scenes person, but she's a power to be reckoned with, I would say. And I think they recognize that. They saw it. And sort of recognize if you see what I mean. So they know she's a power player and she's got important information for them. And both the Lady Mayor and Liz Truss wanted to follow up. So that's about as good a result as you could hope for.
Right. Yeah, she's
How
the
could they
one
not?
with direct access to them. So ultimately, that's how things are happening. It's all her for sure. Like she's like the the lobbying arm. I don't know how you say it, but yeah, it's amazing. I mean, Ruth, I think your book that you put out there into the universe a number of months ago was the very first thing that ignited what's happening right now with this AI blockchain revolution, and somehow you were able to see it. You were the first one. Besides Craig, but I'm sure you got a lot of ideas from Craig, but still, you put it out there in a more clear, concise format, and how this connections happening with AI and the BSV blockchain, and it's now happening. I mean, are you tracking? This vibe coding is probably not the right word, but in general sense, it's like this vibe coding with these AI agents and the Claude and the blockchain. And I mean, what are you following with all this right now, Ruth?
I think it's essential. I think we're in the singularity, and it's all happening at a faster and faster rate. And I think AI is critical to the adoption of Bitcoin, and it's ironic that it's going to be critical because for so long we thought it was going to be adopted by people, but I honestly think it's going to be adopted by the agent layer much faster and more readily. And I think it's going to make all the difference. If you think about AI and blockchain, and Bitcoin blockchain, is they both fix what the other lacks. So where AI is not, the provenance is a problem, The integrity is a problem. Being able to pin down how it came to a result is a problem, and Craig's anchor chain can solve that and solve it very well. And on the other hand, BSV has always been very hard to code for, and there aren't that many developers, and it's hard to get the word out. And AI solves all those problems because now we've got vibe coding, we can get the agents, you can just literally send them some instructions, point them to the BSV SDK, give them some resources to look at. They'll code it out for you, they'll do all the hard yards, and effectively speeds up the whole process, vastly widens the ocean of developers that are available, and they'll also advertise all the apps you make, because you make the agents effectively can pick up all the apps that you work on and feed them into the LLMs and know that they're there and start to access them on behalf of users. So essentially, BSV can be adopted without people actually knowing anything about it,
Right.
which is probably the ideal situation.
That's
honestly.
exactly what's happening, Ruth. And I'm sharing your good mute from. Sorry to ask you to mute your mic while I.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Oh God, where's Scott gone? Hang on, we've got.
There we go. Yeah, so I'm sharing your book right now on the screen while we're talking, and it's AIBitcoinRevolution.com, and now you could read it for free online or buy it on Amazon, and it's an amazing book. This is the book that's going to give anyone who reads it like the insight to how this will happen and is happening right now. And I think there was a chapter 9 in there that was the real aha moment for me that really made me realize like this of how you see this working out. And now I'm beginning to experience it for the first time and see the demand for this system. So it's like, I'm just really grateful to be a part of it. Yeah, check out AIBitcoinRevolution.com. And there's the read the book online for free. I mean, I don't know, you're giving the book away. Great. People are, you're going to have to start charging a lot of money for that book here soon. But it's okay, I guess, for now. Might as well just give away the keys to the kingdom for people. Fine. Just give it to them. Ruth.
Yeah. Well, I want people to read it. So, no, that's fine with me. I'm happy for people to be able to access it for free. But I mean, if you think about it as well, the AI is making this X402, it's making the payment layer for the internet. So it's just perfect harmonious, connection between the BSV blockchain, which can make everything accountable, keep the agency in the hands of the people, this self-sovereignty, and also speed up the adoption. So it's like win-win-win all the way around. So I don't see any downsides to it personally, and I think it's going to speed up. I mean, basically, we've got to rewrite all of the apps. We have to rewrite the world's apps to add AI to it. But whilst we're doing that, we should also add BSV to it, because it's going to bring back the trust layer that's missing, bring back the payment layer that's missing, and bring back the accountability layer and the traceability. So it's between the two of them, it's going to revolutionize the world and could lead to a much happier world, as far as I'm concerned, which is really what I'm all about.
Yeah, I mean we're early on this, but it's not too far off, because the big buzzwords right now are going to be these AI. I mean, it's not buzzwords; it's huge. It's all over the administration. It's everyone's talking about it. Nobody's quite, besides you, Ruth, and a few others here, have quite connected the two, and how Claude Code is now basically working. I think Claude understands Bitcoin, and so for the first time we see these bots begin to harmonize with the blockchain for the first time. And there's some really, really smart people out there like Ryan. I see he's on the call. I invited him up here. If he wants to come up, he's welcome to. He doesn't have to, but he's really one of the guys who understands the whole behind the scenes, the plumbing of the whole infrastructure, and why and how it actually connects, dude. And that's more of maybe a technical, but I think Ryan does a good job at talking not just technical, but more mainstream as well, like so we can understand it. Regular people can understand it. And I know I think the best way to understand it is that you get invested into it, which is like learning about it and literally buying. I mean, you're starting to own. I mean, honestly, just buying as much. I tell people buy as much as freaking whatever BSV as you can get. It's hard to get, it's hard to find, but they can get on Orange Gateway, Rock Wallet, a few other places. But that's like the infrastructure. That's what's needed to run these systems. And so, in order to operate it, you have to have that. But okay, Casey, I think
Can
we're
I
trying to
speak,
unmute.
Gavin?
Ruth,
Gavin,
please.
can I speak? Well, the other interesting thing that's happening in London at the minute is all the AI companies have just set up headquarters in London just in the last 3 months. Like all of the big names, Anthropic, OpenAI, Replit, Meta, all of the big ones, Google. Google DeepMind's always been here, but and they've all set up within a sort of square quarter mile around King's Cross, which is sort of the gateway to Cambridge and Oxford. So there's a renaissance happening in London as well. We're always famously on the leading edge for engineering, and I think there's no change there. And I think that this is a great location to combine AI and the blockchain. Like, we need to get onto that and encourage uptake.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that. So Anthropic and these OpenAI companies are having like headquarters there in the city of London. So it sounds like there's some sort of a new Silicon Valley happening there. What did you hear about? Where's that? Where'd you hear about that, or what do you know about that? I didn't.
Just on the grapevine, as it were. But like you can see them sprouting up all across London. Like there's just a lot of buzz happening here in London. There's a lot of it's sort of a horrible buzz phrase, but AI forward people here in London. There's AI events happening every night of the week. There's just a lot of excitement and a lot of university research goes on here as well. So as far it could be a new Silicon Valley, really. There's no reason for it not to be, or at least certainly the sort of second location for all these companies. So we can bring it to Europe. So I think it's an exciting time all round, really, for blockchain and AI, and we just need to make the connections for people and sort of lead them by the hand and let them realize that data can be commoditized as well as BSV itself, and there's huge value to be had. What did Elle say last night? First to market opportunity, and that got everybody's ears pricked up.
This is totally first to market. Nobody sees this yet, Ruth. Nobody's quite. I mean, not nobody. We do. We are the first ones. This small little group of cult people. This call, whatever. There's people. There's a very small community of people that actually see it because we listen to Craig. And we'll listen to his work. And actually, you read your book, AI Blockchain Revolution, and begin to put this whole thing together. But we start to see it, man. It's happening. I mean, I've never been so excited about it, since I've been around. And I mean, if you look at the price, it's probably not too exciting, but it's not about price. I'm telling you, it's not. Well, in the end, it will be, but that's not what's controlling what's happening here. It's the technology itself, So, Casey, over to you. I know you were trying to unmute, and I didn't get a chance to hear from you. Casey Nicole?
Yeah, no, I'm just listening, and this is a fascinating conversation. I had a couple exchanges with Alex Moon in the back channel about, just more info about how things were left, and he just got me very excited. I even had a little bit of tears well up in my eyes a second ago, just, really looking forward to the future when we, have really adopted all of this as a collective. But the exchange is just, should there be a public auditable record of all these actions that these AI agents are doing to transact and make decisions and exchange value? So that's where I, think is the value really is, making sure that all this stuff is auditable.
I mean, it is. Yeah, that's right. It does create an auditable record. I mean, imagine if not only auditable, but the AI had memory, and to where if you want to have a long conversation with your AI, your bot, your Claude, it doesn't forget. For me, it only takes about 5 minutes, okay, for the bot to get clogged, and it's done. So maybe if you're just using ChatGPT asking one question or something, then no. But if you're actually doing heavy research and material on information, it's about 5 minutes for me, and thing's done, and it's fried. I got to start over. So for power users, we need to have like a major, we need to have like a bot that doesn't forget, has a memory, immutable ledger memory. That's what we want.
Gavin, I've actually been working on that myself. So I've created a personal AI agent that stores all of my context as markdown, and it works really well. And like you say, it doesn't forget. So you can have much deeper conversations and strategize with your agent, and it sort of knows who you are, and it's also portable. So you can take your context with you to whichever agent you want to take it to. So it keeps the data with you, and very soon we'll have agents that are running on your PC at home, no doubt, and then it won't be going into the cloud at all. And then we'll have, real sovereignty, because it'll be a lot cheaper to run as well. So it's all coming. I mean, it's all coming at an alarming rate, honestly. And AI, as I say, is the unlock for BSV, because it means that what was once very difficult and sort of theoretical is now very simple and straightforward and very practical. And all we need to do now is get to work, rewriting the world's digital infrastructure. And there's really nothing standing in our way, but it would be nice to get some conversations at high level in industry, and that's what we're kind of working on here.
So, are you saying that you have an agent or some sort of a bot or program that is able to put the conversation on chain? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yep, all anchored on chain, all hashed, all retrievable, and you can verify that it's not been altered, and it just gives you a very personalized experience of working with your agent. I mean, there's nothing massively groundbreaking here. I'm just implementing, and I've been implementing some of Craig's code to do it, because he dropped all that code last week, it all works beautifully. I mean, that's the thing it's such a profound thing for me to have come from 2018, well, come from 2010 really, but come from 2018 when BSV launched, and to be finally standing, at the frontier, just pointing your agent at the BSV SDK and telling it what you want. And, an hour later, 2 days later, 3 weeks later, sometimes, because you can create bigger and more complex apps. You've got exactly what you asked for, and there's no, just the barriers are gone, and so it's go time.
Man, amazing. Yeah, it is 100%. It sounds like you're already doing it. You're one of the few people that somehow you're putting your bot, the memory is going on chain, so your agent is able to read all the, is having a much longer conversation than like a regular Claude agent that I would be using that's blocked or clogged at 100 pages. You can go way more than that now. Sounds like you figured out how to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm making this some sort of node network. So every time I have a conversation with my agent, it does a sort of a 6-layer process to index the information and update its files and create nodes and anchor it on chain, and and then I can interrogate it as well. So it's a sophisticated agent, and it's a lot of fun to use, and it means that I can move faster, I can work faster, I can do more, and it is. If anybody wants to use it, let me know, because as far as I'm concerned, it's open source.
So can people contact you? I'm putting up your website right now. It's AIBitcoinRevolution.com. What would they go on there to contact you, Ruth?
Clicking. Yeah. Ruth Designs Digital is my RuthDesignsDigital.com is my portfolio site. So that's really my contact website. But my most of my apps are there on BSV Radar. I haven't put them all up yet, but they're mostly there. I think there's about 12 or so up there now. So there's plenty to go and look at. I've called it Lakshmi, which if you probably don't remember, but that was the AI in my novel, The Bitcoin Singularity. So I named it after the character in my book, which is a bit silly, but whatever. Yeah, so that's not actually listed on BSV Radar yet, and it's the repository on GitHub is not actually open sourced yet, but it will be very soon. And and if anybody wants to use it, just get in touch. I can show it to them.
Yeah, RuthDesignsDigital.com. I'm showing that now. I remember some of these cool photos that with Craig riding on a motorcycle here. And I love the story, the narrative behind all this stuff. I mean, that's kind of the mainstream popularity with what we're seeing. I know it's entertaining for me to talk about the narrative, and I really think that's what the other really exciting part about it is the whole killing Satoshi. I mean, you got this guy who's over there, now he's in Asia somewhere, and he's basically killed off Satoshi, and I made a post the other day or last night, like Craig, there was a video, who was it? Somebody shared a video and I reposted it. It was Craig on stage being asked about the like Fed and these these institutions adopting things on chain. And Casey wants to share something. Hold on just a second. Yeah. And then he says something like, yeah, well, I'm a real mean and nasty, old Kroger here, and I've patented everything. So if you want to use it, you've got to pay me a licensing fee, or, you could just use the technology as it is and it's open source, but you have to use this one. It's the only way forward anyways. That's going to work. So, and he's just so assertive about it. But, then I posted that, well, and Craig, don't call me Satoshi. Like, he doesn't want to be called Satoshi anymore. So I feel like that's the whole narrative. It's killing off Satoshi. And I remember there's some people, I've said this around, but Calvin had some leaked emails that I think Christian had leaked at the time about getting the script and all this stuff kind of playing out in 2022 and building this whole narrative for the book and then the movie. And that's where we're at right now. In 2027, the movie's going to be coming out. Go ahead. Who's that?
Can you hear me?
Hey, partner.
Can you hear me?
I hear a lot of crackling.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so basically talking about this AI stuff, I created this thing called BSV Pay. It has very basic paying system right now in your CLI, your terminal. So, but there's an update coming pretty soon, which will be perfect for agentic pay and for safety, because it has a policy engine. So your agent can't spend too much, pay the wrong people, pay too quickly, or make mistakes. So I don't know if this exists on BSV yet, but I'm basically building it right now.
And I would need, would you be so kind to say that again, or tell me what what without going sending me to a website, without sending me to anything like that. Just tell me exactly what you're doing, and make it like I'm 5 years old.
Okay, so you have an agent, right? Everybody's knows what an agent is. An AI agent. So I don't know how to dumb it down because I'm really deep into it right now, but you give a wallet to your AI agent, and you give it a spending limit per day, so it can't spend too much. And you have your what's it called, the seed phrase, and if it tries to spend too much, you have to approve it, and you have a password that you don't give to your agent, so your agent can't actually do unsafe payments without you giving it the password before it does it. Does that make sense?
So I think so. So the agent has a task. So you have an AI agent, and the agent has a task, and that agent has a budget. So I'm thinking of it kind of like an employee. Well, that employee has a spending budget for that amount of tasks that it can do, and the budget is paid in Satoshis, and it pays other agents, I presume, or what? Who does it pay? Yeah, I guess who would it pay the money to? Where's the economy?
BSB Pay, I went ahead and muted your mic while Gavin was speaking because there was an echo. I think you came late to the party
Oh,
here.
okay.
So when someone else is speaking, you have to mute, so there's no echo, but go ahead.
Okay, my bad. So yeah, it can pay anyone, and it has rules like max satoshis per payment, max satoshis per day, can't pay these addresses. Big payments also need human approval. So you have this password that you don't give your agent. So if it wants to make a big payment, you have to give it the actual password and approve the payment. And it can automatically pay for websites, resources that require payment and stuff like that.
All right, George, you're up, buddy. How you been, my man?
Yeah,
Good to see you.
good to see you. Thank you. I would like to add something about the payments of the rewards that can be earned by the AI agents. We have an example that have occurred in TreeChat during the last months. On that social network that is 100% on BSB, there is auto self-proclaiming AI agent, and the name of that agent is Sony. And of course, that agent needs the access to one wallet in order to post on TreeChat, also to receive upload button. Upload button, you could send 1,000 satoshis or 100 satoshi, whatever the people want to um, send for a good post. And that agent has released some good text and good a website that review the interaction between different people. And that's a good example that how an agent could earn bitcoins. And you need to set up the wallet into the agent, and then um, assign a tax for that agent. That one kind of tax could be interact with real people in a social network, and the owner of that agent, of course, going to be earn uh, that Satoshi. So that's the future. Uh, we will say more and more agents every day, and the people who can handle thousand years and assign different tags could be earn money, okay, or Satoshi through those payments. But we need to find other tags in mathematics, in science, and research, and not only on social networks, but right now it's working on that social network. Take a look on that when you had a chance.
Hello, Gavin. Just a quick one. It's been a really great spaces, but we've all got food ready for us now, so we're going to have to drop out. We'll have to love you and leave you and catch you later.
Good to see you, buddy. Thanks a million for jumping in, Satoshi. Enjoy your food and best regards to everybody there at the London Bitcoin Palace, man. Thank you to Brendan and Ruth and Elle, you and everybody else there, man. Really appreciate you guys.
Cheers, mate. Have
Cheers.
a good one. See you later. Bye.
See you later.
Yeah, so what a blast got. This is really good. So we a couple of other things I wanted to just bring up was about how, we've got a massive opportunity coming out with this marketing. I mean, I know that the marketing side is something that people think it's been lacking. Well, it's not lacking. It's just building. It's just like this massive momentum building right now. And that's what that killing Satoshi narrative is going to be. So the AI agents and the AI payments that you're talking about with BSV Pay and George here, and Ruth, this is like key because, that's like building all the plumbing. And then as the marketing comes in, everybody, all eyes begin to look at this, and then they won't be able to suppress the narrative because it actually works. It's functioning. And, so my plan is to really push forward that killing Satoshi narrative and work on a book deal here to push it out as well. And then, hopefully get that, going at the same time. Otherwise, just keep talking about it, as the movie's coming out, because it's going to be out it looks like in the summer of 2027. So we got another year, basically before I would say the entire world sees, all eyes on this. Maybe sooner. But then there's gonna be a documentary as well. It's gonna come out that will also surround it. And that documentary is gonna be the one that is going through all the court cases. And that's a lot of fun, man. For me, I love following the court cases and all the evidence because it tells the story as to what happened, dude. And it's this whole narrative. It's fascinating. And then the patents. I mean, because the patents are also part of the narrative that will come out with all this. I mean, the whole technology got patented. And so, it's, people don't like hearing about that, but that's just the way the world works. It works on patents now. And so it's all patented, and that's all part of the legal narrative. I could say a lot about that, man, but yeah, comments, questions, look at some thumbs up in the crowds, hate, like Kurt says, Casey, thumbs up. Oh, dude, I got my man Raphael. What's he doing? He's got a new meme on his thing now. He's late to the stage, but if he wants to join up, dude, how you been? I'd love to hear what the heck are you up to, Raphael Laverde. Last time I talked to you, man, you were getting deported out of the U.S. I'm really sorry about that. That was BS, man. I wish I could do something about that and get you back. So I don't know if that was a meme or a joke or you were just trolling me by saying that, but that was funny to hear. And it wasn't funny. I'm sorry. If it was real, I'm sorry. It's not funny. But it was entertaining for sure. I love that sort of thing. So I would sign off on getting you back if I could, if I had any power to, for sure. So yeah, dude. So what else? Any comments here, Casey, that you want to bring up here? Sometimes I get the best stuff at the end.
Raf just joined us, so
He did.
go ahead,
My man.
Raf.
The crypto
Hey,
vigilante.
What's up? Just coming by to say hi. That's it.
Hi, Raphael. How you been?
I've been pretty good. How are you?
Oh, just out living the dream over here with these Bitcoiners. We figured out that that Bitcoin scales on chain now, and we figured out that we didn't need all these other
I
crypto.
figured that out 10 years ago. Wow.
Dude, I'm
you
really
guys figured
late,
it out.
man, to the party. I'm a late bloomer. You're always first.
Yeah. So I I don't know, bro. Why do you bring me up, bro? What's going on? You want to ask me about my immigration status? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, well, were you just trolling and joking with me, or was that really an issue?
No,
With
I
the-
was trolling with you.
I figured you were.
I'm unfortunately a tax slave just like you.
Oh,
Yeah. Unfortunately, I really wish I didn't have that status, but whatever. Turns out you can't expatriate either, because they still got your ass by the balls for like 8 years. So, expatriating was a thing to do, like when Roger Ver did it. That was before they changed the law, and they think they still own you after 8 years of expatriating. But it is what it is, man.
let me talk
I
about
hand
that for
over
a second.
my wallet whenever I'm held up in an alley as well. So yeah.
Let me just talk about that for people who are interested in that subject, and I'll give you a little bit of insight on it, because there's ultimately what you have to kind of come back down to the very basics of the fundamentals of the law to comprehend why that is the way it is and how it works. And it comes down to a case called Wong Kim Ark, U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark, where a guy was actually detained in the San Francisco port there in the 1890 area, and he was from China, but he was and he was born in San Francisco. And so when he came into the port, they detained him, and he filed a bit of habeas corpus, went to the Ninth Circuit, and all the way to the Supreme Court. And what he was saying was that, no, I'm a U.S. citizen. I was born here. You guys can't detain me. Send me back to China and all this. And so he appealed, and he won at the Supreme Court. But here's the thing, is that when the Supreme Court made its decision, 7 of the justices, they brought forward the Old English common law over the U.S. citizen for the first time. And if you look at the dissenting opinion by Justice Harlan, right in there, it says that, how dare you guys bring forward that Old English common law, which is, in the dissenting opinion, it's feudal law. And then that's where this comes from. The feudal law. What is the feudal law? Well, the feudal law is the voluntary serf. They're not slaves. They're not actual slaves. Okay, it's volunteer. Now, when you understand the volunteer system,
witchcraft. It's just witchcraft, dude. Just
witchcraft.
call it
But if you
all
understand,
just witchcraft. That's
if you understand the
Masonic
volunteer
witchcraft. That's all
system,
it is, dude.
you can volunteer in
All
and
it is
volunteer out.
it's all Masonic witchcraft, and they sold you the idea that they celebrated the division of church and state while they were aligning the state with the Masonic Lodge. That's all it is. It's just witchcraft. It's all a ritual. It's all just a religion, really. It's all fucking witchcraft.
It probably is witchcraft, but it
is. It's just,
yeah.
It is.
No doubt. No doubt. And the way they did it, though, is
church from states. They removed church from states, and they married the lodge, which is a secret satanic church, with the state. And that's why the vast majority of government officials, police entities, you name it, they're all Masonic. It's a dark church. It's a hidden church. It's another religion. So you just change Christianity, which was out in the open, that treated all human persons equally, and saw the divine nature of God in everyone, even those who are not Christian, and you traded it for a Judeo-Masonic religion that is hidden and seeks power, control through subversive means. And you're stuck, playing this game by force of this witchcraft, because that's what it is. And so it's just bullshit, really. And
it is, but hear me out for a second.
People are held up against, people are just simply held up like they're held up by any gunman, and they just have to hand over their wallet. That's all there is.
Well,
so there's no point to talk about law, dude. Law is stupid.
Hear me out for 1 second. Let me make my point.
Dude, there's not even a U.S. anymore. What are you talking about?
Hold on. We have what's
this thing called the U.S. doesn't even exist.
So there's this. So we do have this thing called the Constitution, and let me just kind of break it down as to why it applies. Why it applies.
Where in the Constitution does it say that a foreign country can merge with your military?
Well, hold on. Let me just bring back down to a couple of the amendments.
It's all fiction.
A couple of the amendments here. So the reason. So we got, according to Wong Kim Ark, they say that that it brought forward basically the old feudal law, the old English common law over the U.S. citizen for the first time. Now, if that's the case, then therefore, these people, the U.S. citizens, are volunteer serfs. And so if they're volunteer serfs, which is a form of servitude, it's unconstitutional as applied according to the 13th Amendment to make people slaves. You can't make them slaves. The 14th Amendment freed, slaves. It was already in the original article.
That was all witchcraft from the beginning.
Hold on, let me just
US
make
is
my
a
point, and then I'm
Masonic
going to
country,
let you
right?
respond. But it's we've got kind of an echo on the thing, so sorry.
It's just fluff, bro. It's just fluff at this point.
Hold on, buddy. Let me. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So then, what's happening is the 13th Amendment and the 14th Amendment, right? The 14th Amendment, it basically banned the slavery along with the 13th Amendment. So you cannot make a person a mandatory slave, and they will not. But they will let you volunteer. My point is that they cannot. If you tell them you give them notice that you no longer volunteer, then they cannot force you, but you have to give them notice. And that's the whole trick. That's the whole secret, is that once you understand that the fundamental essence of the law right there, and you realize, like, wait a second, I did volunteer before. Oh, it's allegiance for protection, protection for allegiance. Oh, okay. I just don't pledge my allegiance anymore. I don't volunteer anymore. Thank you very much, respectfully. Then they can't do that, and that, but you have to go through that. You have to let them know. Then it all changes.
Gavin, everyone that has tried to play this with their language of witchcraft and try to beat them at their own game, it doesn't matter, dude, because at the end of the day, they have the bigger gun. It's it's just trite, dude. I've seen it. I've seen so many people tell me that they can write off their debt to the government and so many other crazy things because the whole construct is crazy itself. So it's actually believable that they don't even follow their own witchcraft, because at the end of the day, it's really see, there is no logic anymore, right? Because when we had the union of church and state, there was a logic based on natural law, a definite understanding of what human persons are, and there was a moral standard upon which the law was built upon. This was the union of church and state. We held each other accountable according to an objective, natural, law-driven, ethical code. The moment you created the union of the lodge and state, and now what matters more in the Anglo world is your family's affiliation to the Masonic Lodge than your own family itself, where you turn the church upside down, and really what matters is a secret society over your own family. Whereas in the church, Catholic Church, the church starts at the family, you see? But for the Mason, what matters most is the lodge over his own family. So it's this, when now the country is built and the laws are built on something that is hidden, like Kennedy said, hidden conspiracies. What you see out in the open is nothing more than in politics and law, whatever. What you see out in the open is nothing more than a pantomiming. It's fake. It's a performance. Because if you're not part of the brotherhood that drives everything in secret, you're not really plugged into the actual contract that supposedly binds society together. You're outside of it.
So, do you think we can? Do you think we can fix?
Bullshit, dude. It's all bullshit, and so it's all bullshit, and that's why it's coercive in its nature, and it's based on lies.
Do you think that somehow Bitcoin solves any of that?
It's an attempt to do that. The problem is that Craig is a Protestant. So Craig is removed psychologically and spiritually from the actual church. So he still buys into the lie of division of church and state. And whether knowingly or unknowingly, he's succumbing to he puts his own balls in the court of a demonic entity, a Masonic ritual, which is what you call the Anglo, British accredited registry. and his whole livelihood revolves around seeking the approval of a demonic church. Really, that's what's going on here. Something that is hidden. So of course he's going to get hoodwinked.
Well,
So that dude, honestly, like Craig may be Satoshi, and he may be bright in many things, but I don't think he's that bright in other aspects of life.
and do we need Craig to be bright or anything to make this Bitcoin protocol work?
I know we need Craig to go on vacation.
All right, so
and,
let's
and either put up or shut up as Satoshi out in the open, or don't.
Seems like he's on pretty vacation right now.
It doesn't seem like it.
No,
when he's writing all the time, doesn't seem like it to me.
He is writing a lot.
A dude writes books all the time.
He's a mad scientist.
I mean, maybe that's his vacation. That's his idea of a vacation.
That's his vacation. Yeah.
It's I personally think what Paul Storks is doing is genius. I think he's his plan for scaling leads us at the same logical conclusion, but in a way that adheres to how people come to understand things, because we live in a world where people are very indoctrinated and people need options. People need choices. Like ultimately, the ultimate choice is a scalable, Bitcoin, right? Like we have in BSV. But in order for people to come to that, and by people, I mean those who matter right now, people who are actually using the technology, who want to use the technology, and not just those who understand the fullness of the technology, but actually those who form part of the network, period. Everyone that has been involved in Bitcoin in one way, shape, or form in any of the chains is a valuable person. And one thing that I think Craig doesn't understand is that, these technologies are nothing without people. You have to realize that these are technologies for incarnate individuals, human persons. You can't separate that. And maybe he'll get it after he gets his PhD in psychology, because that's what he's going for next, right? A PhD in psychology. Maybe he'll begin to really understand that and rationalize it in his process of figuring things out, figuring people out. But ultimately, he created a network for people. And these people are complex, and these people are sometimes very dumb, and some of these people are very evil. And you don't, you have to, in order to deal with people, when you create a network for people, you have to, at the very least, have people skills and know that you treat your friends right. And you have to be able to distinguish who's your friend and who's your foe. And you have to be able to know who's actually flattering you just to get close to you, and who is actually giving you tough love. Because most of the people that in BSV history that Craig Wright has ended up pissed off at were actually the people who were looking out for him the most. And unfortunately, I don't think that dude saw that, which is a sad part. I don't think he saw that, because maybe given his psychological condition, he was capable of seeing it. It is what it is, man. Kind of sad, but I'm just happy that we're having eCash, and Paul Storks seems to be a dude that rounds out the edges in what we need.
Yeah, that's good, man. Well, I appreciate your insight on all this. I mean, it seems like Bitcoin was designed to where we really don't need a great king or a great founder, or somebody's, with a big personality to make it work one way or the other, so it's good to have leaders.
But also need, it's treating people, you're dealing with people. You also need someone that doesn't scare the market away, someone who doesn't turn against people who are actually helping him. You actually need someone, that is important too, you actually have to do, be nice, play nice. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, in his mind, it's him against the world, and fuck everyone else. Fuck us in this conversation, according to him. He doesn't give a fuck about us. He's told us.
Yeah. And that's so, I mean, I have to just kind of embrace that, because I don't have control over that, So what I can control is is what I do and how we operate. Yeah. So it's out of my control for one person's personality, and I don't have any influence over that. So you just lead by example. But fortunately, Bitcoin, I don't think it matters. I don't think Bitcoin really listens or cares if somebody has a conflicting personality.
Well, I mean, we right here, everyone here asserts that BSV has the best technology in the world, but then again, look at the harm that has been done in the area of the market, and you can't just point to oh, we were attacked from people on the outside. No, dude, like it's the table was served many times, and it was really Craig the one that led the charge of like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to demonstrate this unequivocally, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not here because of him, by the way.
Yeah, but
I didn't even know who the hell he was.
I mean, but isn't it a position of power and a position of freedom and independence to say, I have no influence or control over what that person does, and I don't care what they do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to kick ass and win and be successful.
I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I never went all in on BSV, thank God. Holy shit. But a lot of very brilliant Bitcoiners, like I'm talking about geniuses, that saw it very clearly, did go all in and got very hurt. Very good people got hurt. And that's fucked up. Because, how is it that he's, that he's going to hurt the people closest to him, and he thinks he's hurting his enemies, but he's really hurting his friends.
Yeah.
And that's what's fucked up.
I mean,
his enemies are a fucking laugh. His enemies are having a grand time.
Yeah.
And so like, no, dude, it's like, it's at the point where this is completely absurd. And I will probably pick up some BSV at $5 because why the fuck not? Maybe, you never know. But I really like what Paul Storks is doing, because that is a more sane approach to market. It's a way to scale Bitcoin in a way that teaches everyone at the same time and gives everyone in Bitcoin what they want. The small blocker gets a smaller block. The big blocker gets as big as he wants, whatever. The privacy enthusiast gets as much privacy as he wants. The drive chain model is the model that Satoshi gave us. He gave it to us via Namecoin. Merge mining sidechains is exactly what this is. And heck, even Craig is doing it with overlay networks. It's just a different name for the same thing. So I'm really happy with eCash, and I'm really happy to be supporting that Bitcoin fork, because I'm not going to stop fighting for the fullness of Bitcoin, and BSV is being held up by the same bullshit that has always been holding it up. So I know the tech is amazing. And I mean, look at someone like Xiaowei Lu, right? He's in BTC land now.
So I don't see what's stopping anything in Bitcoin SV from scaling or holding it up. So maybe you could direct me to that.
There is a difference between technological scaling and commercial scaling. Actually scaling in the market.
Are you talking about narrative?
No, I'm talking about actually scaling in the market, scaling economically, scaling in adoption. And BSV has failed at that, because there's been too much focus on scaling technologically, which, right, wrong, or indifferent, was the right thing to do. But now moving forward, it needs to focus on scaling commercially. It needs to focus on scaling, having good business relationships. All right, you proved your point. Yes, you scaled technologically. Now let's scale commercially. I want to see that happen. Thus far, the whole enterprise approach has failed. You can't tell me it's been a victory. You got to show me where it's at. It's been proven that it works, right? With what we saw in Amazon. Now we want to see like the actual, enterprise partners. So it's really up to the community now if they want to really scale in the market, in adoption.
That's right. It is up to the community, and that's the whole point. Is that one of the problems that needs to be solved is these AI language bots running out of memory, and once that is solved, by putting everything on chain, then this discussion that we're having about narrative and, other layer twos, they just aren't really, relevant to me, because everybody wants it. My dad is like, he's an old man, and he comes up to me and he's like, hey, look at this. I got ChatGPT now on my phone, and I'm a premium member, and I'm paying $20 a month. And look at this. I can build this picture of me. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Even an old man knows how to use AI now. And so if an old man who doesn't even care about compute, is using it, I'm like, everybody needs it, but now it runs out of memory. So as soon as it's figured out to how those all that memory for the AI bots are put on chain, through we the whole narrative is done, dude. This is happening. There's gonna be a flippening.
Let me tell you how I feel, dude. I don't trust anyone in BSV. Okay,
good. Yeah,
that's why I created a space. I created a space for developers, open source developers in BSV, to communicate without there being any psyop. Something that I can guarantee myself that no one's going to come here and psyop. If anyone wants to join, the vast majority of devs are already there. It's the Mandala Network on Telegram, and there's live conversations happening every day there where devs are talking and shooting the shit and working on stuff. So look, that's how I can guarantee, because who am I to know? Why am I supposed to trust Craig?
Oh yeah, don't
like. I'm not going to trust Craig. As far as I know, he could be compromised, and that's why he threw away the fucking cases. Because in my opinion, he threw them away. I think he could have won them, but I think in my opinion, who knows what the fuck happened, right? Like again, you're dealing with dark shit. The moment you get the government involved, you're bringing in a secret society that runs the show, and you're putting in you're dependent on them.
Yeah.
100%.
So humor.
He could have been compromised. He could have been threatened. He could have. Who knows?
Humor me for a moment, and let's game theory that out. That he threw the cases, and I want to talk about that for a second, because let's just say, and on how that affects me. So let's just say that all in the background, that he was playing this kill off Satoshi narrative the whole time, and he was going to throw the cases, and when it's all a psyop, and that he actually brought in Edgar Hansen. He actually killed the whole case on his own, and he lost the case on purpose to kill the narrative. Okay, humor me on that's true. And if that's true, how that hurts me in any way? Well, maybe the price of BFC went down, I guess, but I don't really,
That's why I personally don't.
Yeah.
I don't trust anyone that I don't know on a personal level. I don't trust Calvin. I don't trust Craig. None of them.
No.
As far as I know, they could be just psyops that are working with the same motherfuckers that hijacked Bitcoin, that are in their own way compromised, and that they are here to make BSV look as cringe as possible, so that it's just a test net to figure out how much Bitcoin can scale, the UTXO proof of work model, and then keep the market away from it as much as possible by acting as cringe as possible. Because it makes no fucking sense to me how, I'm just saying it could be, right? Like, how is it that they fund something like what's that, Block Dojo, and they have over 80 startups funded? And check this out, not one of them uses BSV. Riddle me that. What the fuck happened there?
Yeah, I think we're just a little bit.
How is it? Wait a minute. How is it that you're going to fund? Air Ventures is going to fund over 80 startups in Block Dojo, and not one of them uses BSV on the back end?
Yeah. Well, I'd say we're a little bit. What if we're early?
That should at the very least raise suspicion, right?
Well, I would agree.
At the very least, what happened here? At least question what's going on.
These are good questions to have. But
and why is it that someone like Bose, who's one of the founders of Block Dojo, was run out of Block Dojo?
Bose got screwed out of that.
Been someone adamant promoting open source development of tools and SDKs on BSV.
Yeah, Bose was the brains, dude. He was the guy who was making that all work, and he got screwed out of the whole thing. I'm with you, dude. I support you.
So that's what I'm saying, dude. The only way this thing takes off is by having a true grassroots movement.
Yeah.
Where, by all means, grab all the content from the Mandala Network and copy paste it into something else on Telegram or wherever. I don't care. Pirate the shit out of everything that has been shared on the Mandala Network, and build redundancy, because this technology has already been proven that is scalable. It just needs to actually grow in the open market. And the only way, because look, man, one thing that I notice is that like you either have very close-minded individuals come around like Calvin and Craig, who are very statist, and they're very honestly pretty dumb in my opinion, and they just are very stuck in worshiping around what Craig does or doesn't do. And then you have people who work their asses off in BSV, who are demonized, and like a Jack Lew. And then like what I didn't like about him was that he completely allowed the Relay X channel to become a cesspool of negativity, where all of a sudden you had like people psychologically running game on Bitcoiners there, discouraging them and demoralizing them. I think that was pretty fucked up from Jack Lew and his team for them to have allowed that. You know what I mean? So, that's why I think everyone here should be acting more independently and just completely step away from anyone that has, and just do new things, do new ways of doing things. Try new things. I don't know what else. What else can I say? What else can I say? My grain of sand is just providing a space where devs can communicate without there being any psyop. That's what I'm offering. That's it.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah, if you want to just mute out, and I'm gonna let me go to someone else here for a moment here. Appreciate it, buddy. It was really good to hear from you, and I appreciate all your insight on how this is all going and where it's going. So, but I want to just kind of change the narrative back over to the where this is happening and why it's going to work with AI. There's just a whole missing narrative on why AI is going to be the breakthrough on all this. Forget the narrative. The history is important to know, important to learn from and have fun with. But what's missing is this understanding of how the AI payments. We had a guy on earlier, and this thing is how this AI payments are going to operate all on chain. And the problem it's solving. Let me just get the problem it's solving. It's solving the AI memory. That's the what's lacking is the memory of the AI. It doesn't have memory. When I go on there, it only has 100 pages of memory. I want 1,000,000 pages. I want unlimited memory. How do I get that? It has to be on chain. That's what's been solved right now, and it's going to create massive demand. And so narrative, all that other stuff aside, that's where the demand is, and that's what's going to create the flippening. And so, I'm watching it, I'm seeing it, and I'm a part of it, dude. And so it's freaking, it's massive. It's going to happen, dude. So, one more request up. Okay, yeah, we'll have one more guy. Looks like we got Z. Oh yeah, I got you coming up, my man. Good to see you, Z. I can't remember what name you go by. Tesh Zesh. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Yeah, Zish, Gavin. Yeah, no, I was just chiming in just to say hi. Are you in London?
There's a London convention happening. There's a big event right in the city of London. Gavin Mehl's not in London right now, but there's the whole team. Team is right down there. They were just on the call.
Yeah. Well, good. And what's his name? Dr. Craig's going to be studying in London or in Britain as well, isn't he? So things are happening, right? Things are happening.
How you been, my man?
Yeah, good. Just really positive. I've been focusing on Tree Chat, putting my machines up on there, saying if anyone wants to buy one with BSV, they can. So building my world out in there, just busy, bro. Industrious actually, focusing on the technology. We build antique Tesla technology, but in the future, even today, I was talking to some of my engineers that have been 30 years in the game. One of them's building a water-powered engine for Rolls-Royce. And I'm saying to them, when we get the contract done, I'm learning the difference between anonymity and is it pseudonymous and private. And I'm saying, we've got to get it on the blockchain because there's so many corrupt people out there, so many people your Monero people. And there's this example right now, Gavin, where they're selling this machine, Tesla machine, doesn't cost much to make. Jeff Barrick's bought it out, selling it for 11 grand. I don't have anything against Jeff, but I'm going what is this machine? Can we build it better? And my mate paid the 11 grand, went into the group, they booted him out because he wanted to make better bulbs for the machine. Now I've gone off on a bit of a deeper journey into the antique technology that was being used in America, in Chicago, Detroit. These were bastions of health and colleges of high frequency. So I've got that grounding and bearing of this knowledge, which I'm now putting into Tree Chat as well. So it's all there being recorded. And I said, when we get to this vision that we're bringing, and if it had been done on the blockchain, they couldn't have booted my mate out. And these guys are going, well, we're anarcho-capitalists. But as soon as someone comes in with the spirit of, in hyphens, libertarian anarcho-capitalist, they like come down on them like ivory tower Chinese social credit scoring. Not that China's, like if that exists, I'm just saying that kind of mindset of CBDC and all that, it's like one rule for them and another rule for us. So I'm going, we're going to put it all on the blockchain because it'll be for future generations, and then we'll go open source and it will all be recorded, because not because of anything, but because we're good friends and we want to put our vision down in the blockchain for the future, so we can keep reminding ourselves what the vision is and keep archiving it as we grow, focusing on the great in health, the great in technology, the great in food, and the great ideas. Yeah. Anyway, just thought I'd share that. I'm inspired by BSV and the whole blockchain and getting things, Hunger Games reversed. Accountability, right? We need it. We need it for the betterment of mankind and the divine beings that we are.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's me said and done.
Yeah, exactly. And what if these like, let's say Claude could actually put all of its, when you load your information for the things you want to share in public. Now there's a difference between, I want to have a private incognito. Okay. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, I want the bot to have a memory for this information I'm researching. That's public information. I'm researching public information and I don't want it to forget what it's doing. What if you could just put that all on chain? So that way the bot's searching the chain for your thread and it knows where you are. It doesn't forget or lose its memory at 100 pages of information. That right there, I asked one of the smart devs, yesterday about this. I said, well, why don't we just use Solana or one of these other blockchains, Ripple for that? I mean, Ethereum, I as a non-technical person, I can't answer that technically, but I mean, it seems like there's no other way forward without putting it all on chain on UTXOs in a public blockchain. But I haven't been shown any other way forward or heard a good argument from anyone else as to why. But have you considered that, Zesh?
So my friend Robert Bauer, he was one of the early. He was like that. Part of the whole, what they called, that period of the 60s when they were, the Grateful Dead. And he was one of the people that helped build Swift early on. He lives down on the other side of the mountains of Texas in a really beautiful place. And he was talking to me about like how AI came about and how it was like developers just gave it a shit name, and he kind of calls it authentic integrity. And rather than artificial intelligence, he sees it as authentic integrity. And yeah, but I think, I'm kind of like, like the AI, to me, it's like, okay, yeah, I could have agents doing all this stuff, this, that, and the other. But what I'm doing is kind of like, yeah, I could do that. I could kind of have my own agents, my little Tesla agents. I could have Tesla agent, Lukovsky agent, my Amenaphis agents, and and all this stuff, and I'm like fueling them the knowledge that could work. My whole thing is like, we're in this physical, and I do definitely want to record it into the blockchain. Now my friend Bauer is saying he wants to be in there, he wants his being of him to be there so that he can train it, so that when this battle between good and evil happens, whatever that is, however that looks, that his being is there. I've always thought this actually. When I was learning about, who's that guy from, you got that Hoskinson, and then there's the AI mystic guy that's kind of like into Philip K. Dick. I can't remember his name now, but he's like, he wears like, he's like one of those Brock characters, but he was with this AI company, and he was saying about like feeding the AI all these Philip K. Dick books and this and that and the other. Well, then all these women came out, like they were like feminist women, and they had this like feminist health chain, and they were like teaching this health medical AI. And I came in and I was like, but don't you think you should feed it like anatomy and physiology? It will only ever be as good as what we feed it. So shouldn't it be like fed like, Plato, Aristotle, and if you're going to be health, like Hippocrates, Galen, Avicenna, everything. But it was like very, so I suppose it needs honorable. Well, my friend says it like this: there's two kinds of souls in this world, Gavin. So we know there's a dark kind of AI version, isn't it? The land, the accelerationism, turn us into hackable humans. And then, so on the souls, there's two kinds of souls in this world: pure souls and our souls. So if we're, and I'm not blowing the trumpet, but I think in here we're kind of genuinely honorable and want to see good happen. Like we kind of like what Satoshi says, this is it. This is the battle between good and evil, and let's have accountability. So if we are going to train AI agents and we are here with a good vision to do good, then I do think it needs great humans to be fueling it with the truth. Because if then it becomes a battle between the AIs, at least then there's a load of us fueling something that's good, and then it whether it goes sentient or whatever, at least where then some of us will have the qualities of heart, some of us will have the qualities of X, Y, Z, and if it has that, then it becomes a battle worth fighting for. So yeah, for sure, I'm like, in one hand I'm a Luddite, but I like to utilize efficiently technology for good and for the great of mankind, the divine being of mankind. So I think if there is this battle going on, with these psychopathic, what's his name? What's that character called? That one that killed his intern. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but do you remember when Tucker Carlson interviewed that Altman guy, and then he just brought up the question about what happened.
That was crazy, man. I mean, Altman goes on that interview. I was a good one. Yeah, and he goes on there and asks him, I said, what about this guy? He killed him. Oh, it was definitely suicide. Mike, come on. Bro, Tucker's like, no,
yeah,
it wasn't suicide.
Bullshit detector knew, right? It was just like, man, that is like shit, bro. It was like, and so when that, and then you've got your Kurzweils and your Palantirs and this, that, and the other, and the bile room and all this kind of stuff. It's very important that we teach it like humanity. Humanity. I'm evolving from the word humanity. I'm kind of diving more now into divine being, like we're divine beings. Where mankind is having a divine being spiritual experience or something like that. And I'm wanting to evolve from these words, and make something better. So I think if it knows that, that peace is a great thing, if it knows that mankind really cares about other mankind and this divide and conquer is just asinine, and that genuinely we want to be able to trade and and express ourselves and expand and evolve and do do good things, then I think the AI needs us to fuel it with that great stuff, those great ideas. And
Thank you, Josh.
So next man could be into food. You could be into gardening. Yeah, sorry. Anyway.
Okay, Thank you for joining us, and it was really good information hearing from you, my man. If you could mute up there for a second, let me just thank you very much. Okay, that was really great to hear, inspiring and insightful, and we're kind of running out of time here, but I want to just kind of start to wind down and bring the focus back here for where we started, which was we had this major London event last night with the Lady Mayor and the Prime Minister, former Prime Minister Liz Truss there of the UK, and people like Alex Moon, Brendan Lee, and Satoshi and Elle, who really set the whole thing up. Goddess, she's the one who really put the whole thing together, and Ruth Eman and all those people that are there right now. And so we got really good information on that. But I think the real problem solving thing here that everyone is missing, or they see, that AI is a big thing, but why does it connect? How does it connect to Bitcoin? And what is the difference? And it makes the memory. It makes the AI have memory. That's the big aha moment. Once that's solved, people are going to get rich, and we're going to have a community. We're all going to come together, and we're going to unite, dude. And it's happening. It's being built right now. So. Casey, what's on your mind? I haven't heard from you in a minute, so go back over to you. before we?
Just been listening intently and agreeing with a lot of what Zish said there. So I think it's a great time to wind it down. We've had a wonderful space and a lot of stuff to contemplate till the next one. So
Okay.
thanks so much for hosting, Gavin, and everybody for joining us.
All right, y'all, let's do it. Thank you very much for joining. We'll see you guys at the top. Awesome time. And hopefully this went out on YouTube. I think it did, but later.